I don't know how I got in here. Nobody else is here.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel comfortable without one of the pillars.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Rich.
I don't know how comfortable we should feel with just Rich around.
I'm just like a silent partner.
Fair enough.
What the hell's going on?
Welcome to Review.
Thank you. This is my first time and I'm pretty excited because I love this movie.
Oh, yes, we're talking about The Last Starfighter.
Woo!
Classic of my youth.
For every Earthling who's ever imagined traveling beyond the stars,
Maybe there is a Starfighter left.
I love you, Alex Rogan.
comes the unforgettable story of one who made it. The Last Starfighter.
I've gone back to every few years.
All right. All right.
And I know you said you hadn't.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
At least 20 to 25 years.
Oh, man.
I loved it. I still do love it.
Good. It's something that I could see how, I'm trying to watch it from this perspective and seeing like how the nostalgia, like how much of that is what's hitting me and how much is the really affecting story, because it's a simple story.
Yep.
It's the story of a kid. I think maybe he's probably just graduated high school.
Yep.
Looking to go to college in the big city.
Hoping to get that loan.
Yep. Get out of town. Get out of the trailer park that he's always having to help his mom with, because she's a single mom raising 2 kids and working all the jobs in the world. And he just wants to go have fun, but he's got too many responsibilities and he's dreaming.
Yep.
He's dreaming about the world outside, and the easiest way for him to escape from his life is to play a video game.
Would I be great at that? Would I be brought up to be a starfighter? Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
No.
I am terrible at video games. Just straight up trash.
Yeah, no, I'm okay at Galaga. But one night, he's doing so well at the video game that he breaks the record. And oh shit, a Cybertruck shows up. Not really.
If only they did, though.
It's just about there.
But it's so much better.
Oh my fucking god. Out of that car steps the Music Man.
Harold Hill.
Doing that shtick, which is fantastic. Doing the huckster thing.
I've seen him come and I've seen him go, but you're the best, my boy. Dazzling. Light years ahead of the competition.
Like, my boy, let me tell you what's going on here. Let's get into this space, into my car that turns out it's a spaceship, and then, oh shit. Turns out there's a giant space war.
Man, now I think Centauri is possibly, even going back to the Music Man, it was him. Because he's just been the flim-flam, like just,
just
snake
like
oil,
huckster,
huckster. And he just sells shit. And then it's like, you find out that he's an alien, and it's like,
Yeah, but
he just loves selling shit.
he's selling Earthlings.
He
to
just
Rylan.
wants, yeah.
He's doing it all. He's a pioneer, goddammit.
Yep.
And it's going to make him a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I guess money is D&D dice.
Sure.
Just a couple 8-siders.
It's it's a barter economy.
Yeah.
You may have thought it was a game, but it was also a test. Aha!
What I was thinking about today in terms of what this movie is like is it's a very early computer effects film.
Indeed.
Which is
Yes.
something that like we can talk about the car.
Yep.
Initially it just looks like a kind of a crappy DeLorean ripoff, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
And then once it gets into the sky, the wheels turn up and everything. And was my immediate thought in 2024. It's just like, oh yeah, that's a Cybertruck, looks fine.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look bad at all.
No.
It's a little, at certain angles, it's a little cheesy. But in terms of the tech in general, the CG, some of it doesn't hold up as well. Some of it looks just great. I think a lot of times when things are more stationary, like some of the movement kind of gives it away.
Yep.
But like, when they're going across that first pan of the gunships and Alex sees that and it's just the slow pan, it's like, that actually looks really fantastic. And so I think that helps a lot with, just something like Tron, where you're just like, this looks great, but it's also not very realistic because it's all lines, like, vectors or whatever. And also the story in Tron is iffy. And The Last Starfighter has a very solid, easy to understand story that is played very well.
Yep.
It doesn't get too mawkish a little, here and there. It's got some fairly high emotional beats, but like I was thinking of the scene where Alex finds out he doesn't get the loan, his mom tells him, and he goes to he runs off.
Yeah.
If this is like a dumb musical, like he could kick into a number there. Like it really feels like that.
Yeah.
So it, like that's like felt like it could have been like a terrible melodramatic, monologue or something like that. Doesn't say a word. Just throws the paper at the sign, and that's when the machines start flashing, things start happening. And so it really plays those moments very well, I think.
Yes.
And just thinking about how he's been growing up there, he's been in that trailer park for probably a long time. They don't get into it in the movie, but there's a point where he's showing his family picture to Grux. No, what's his name?
Greg?
Greg. Yep.
Greg.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So there's one point where he's showing the picture, like Greg showing him
all his pictures on his nice
twitchy thing. Yeah. And so Alex gets that picture out, and he's got like, here are my folks.
That's my folks, and my brother Lewis, and that's Maggie.
I was like, oh, that's the first and only time anyone mentions a dad.
Yep.
Like, oh, so maybe that's a thing of like maybe his dad just died or left or something. Mm-hmm. And he just, there's this scene where he's been working all day and he goes back to the house and he can hear the conversations going on in the trailer
just
park.
Mouthing it, and it's like, I'm gonna go out dancing again, or we're gonna play cards again, and all this stuff. And
having that realization of just like, I need to get out of here. For my sanity, I need to leave. And he wants to take Mags with him, and Mags is not so sure.
Mm-hmm. Why go anywhere when we could just go to Silver Lake and make out? That's all she wanted to do. She just wants to go to Silver Lake.
But yeah, no, it's there's a good sense of community there that I like.
Oh my God, yeah.
Everybody's watching out for each other, which is kind of which leads to one of the bigger sort of dramatic beats at the very end, just before the ship comes back, when Mags is like, I have to tell his mom that he's in space. That throughout the whole movie keeps things very strong, and it's not like so dramatic that it's like it's a terrible place and you have to leave, and you're gonna ruin your whole life if you stay there. It's like, no, it'd be okay.
Everybody knew each other. Mm-hmm. Nobody was like, I don't want to hang out with that person. It's like, he's gonna beat the game.
Hey, listen up, everybody! Alex is going for the record!
Everybody!
Oh my
Everybody
God.
Come out and watch him get the high. He might get the high score on this game. What?
Yeah, that's
Put
one of
the
those
cards down.
Take your hand.
Yeah.
But that's like a crazy thing. You don't necessarily that wouldn't happen in real life, would it? Like, well, because these people are so close knit.
Yeah.
And they've been growing up with him, maybe, like have him around like since he was a little kid, maybe. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep. It works out nicely, and it's a nice, a good kind of end of Act 1 button. And I will say as well, particularly the leads, like the performances are very realistic, very natural.
Yep.
In situations that are bonkers.
I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to step on your, whatever that is.
The amount where Alex could go off and just be like, completely mind blown. He's just kind of like, and like it's very grounded. Like, wait, what? And I like the way he played that a lot. I think the bad guys are chewing the hell out of the scenery. But it's perfect because he's supposed to be such a bastard. He's Joffrey. He's
exactly
just the worst.
Just a piece of shit.
Nobody likes him.
No.
So it works.
Nobody.
The Kodan armada that he's got to work with are just like, this fucking guy.
So many eye rolls. So many eye rolls with those two guys.
How long must we endure this fool?
This is the first time that I noticed it, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but when he first meets Grieg, and like he's down on the ground because he runs into him, he's like, oh, let me help you up. And he just starts shaking his hand, and he's like, the hell is this?
Yep.
And at first I'm like, wait, is he just like, he's never held a human hand before, so he's like 5 fingers because he's like a turtle. But then again, there's so many other, like the Rylons are pretty humanoid,
They're really humanoid. Yeah,
pretty much just wonderful hairline. It made me feel good.
Yes.
I was just like, yeah, the ladies too.
Yeah. We're all gonna
But
see your future there a little bit just as it gets
right?
whiter.
Right? Just so it just doesn't like swell. I mean, I can understand the recede, but they got like just
There's a little
like just butts.
having real sinus problems, you know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, you can see the throb.
And they do a good job of like integrating the CG with that too, where it's like as soon as you're into the base, you have practical sets again, but the design matches well.
Yep.
So like that actually helps a lot with the back and forth.
I really liked how all the aliens were. It was like he was definitely the fish out of water. Like the one, even though to us it's like they are the odd-looking ones. All of them were like, "Who's this?" Ugh.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because wherever they've come from, which is presumably closer, they're more familiar with the Star League, and it's such an honor.
And they've never been to Earth, and it's like out of it. So yeah, they haven't seen this guy, any type of creature like that.
You were recruited by the Star League to defend
The frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
You're on another planet, and oh shit, there's a space war that you didn't have no setup for. So like that's not even a concern for him.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, what the fuck's happening? Victory or death? Oh, that sounds bad.
Oh, definitely. Where everybody's just like, yeah, victory. It's like, wait a minute, wait. Can we just take the second part off of that? It's like, let's just victory. This movie has been compared, it's like, oh, it's just another Star Wars, because of course Star Wars came out, like, it's like, I think it's a little better than Star Wars, just for the fact that it's more, well, it's Earth-based.
Yeah, it's a little more kind of easily relatable for that kind of thing. Yeah, it's Earth-based, it's, you know, in the current, at the time, and it's different, very different in that he's got something to lose. Like Luke, everything he knows is destroyed, his family's dead. Like, I'm gonna go do this because I got nothing else. Alex has a lot to lose. He's got his family, he's got his girlfriend, he's got his whole future that he can go do. And he has to specifically reject that.
Ah, now you look human.
And that's his journey. And so that for me makes it a big difference from Star Wars. That's why I kind of relate it more to Tron. Like being set at a current time, having to do with like being in a different world. Just with a way better story.
Definitely. Yes.
But speaking of fish out of water, I liked how they worked in the beta unit.
I'm a state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line beta unit. Put here as a courtesy replacement for while you're away.
Which could have been like dumb, cheesy comedy. But there's a real light tone through all this. Like even though there's, you know, death and destruction going on, like it keeps a pretty light tone overall. And I think the beta unit had a lot to do with that. I think he did a really good job of characterizing this, how to learn to be a human thing, like particularly that scene where he's helping Otis, where he's helping to get the TV antenna up, and then he straight up is just like he plays that.
He's like,
it's
what is this?
Yeah, it's not like super like what? No, he's doing like. Like he's really like going through it in his brain, and I think that's very indicative of how well he played that character.
Yeah. Now they brought in more beta footage from after testing.
Yeah. Okay.
The crowds loved the beta unit so much that they had to go back and they wanted to film more stuff. But Alex, or the actor, Lance Guest, cut his hair, and he was also sick when they reshot this stuff. So they had a wig, and I didn't really notice the makeup much during that stuff, but you can tell the hair is different.
Yeah.
But people were really into betas back then. I don't know what went wrong. He must have not looked like Alex, because you see him like cloaked in the car and he touches them, and that's how he gets like the DNA or whatever. But when Megs comes in, it's like, come on, let's do something. He's like, and they pull the blanket back, and he's like,
that pulsing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh my God. That was one of the, I didn't like as a child, I'm like, oh
yeah, totally.
Like you didn't want to watch it, and
Yeah.
you're like looking for that. But just to like really, and they spent a good time, like at least 5 to 6 seconds of just like on this face.
Like they got two separate shots of it, and
yeah.
It's
no eyelids.
the
And
music
it's
does
just
the big sting. Like,
doesn't the blanket stick to him or like
Right.
whatever? It's like, oh,
I guess it's all from inside. I don't know.
what if it was just scabbing up and you just peeled it all off and you gotta start over? That's disgusting. And the fact that, like, when they're actually at Silver Lake, and he's like, I'm gonna make it up to her because she gets upset,
Yep.
and so he can hear the other couple fighting.
That's fantastic.
And then
Should I talk dirty to you now?
That does it.
But he just takes that opportunity. He's like, you know what? Fuck this. This is way too much trouble. I'm from space. We have to go because somebody's trying to kill us right now.
Yep, the Zandazan.
Oh my God. Those are great. Another like kind of yucky as a kid thing.
Yeah.
Like those, like the fish heads.
It looks like somebody waxed a brachycephalic cat.
Yeah, the fucking Wilfred Brimley kind of cat looking
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's got the beatus.
Yep.
And it's just like, I gotta eat oatmeal forever. The fact that there is so much alien activity already going on, like the Starlight, Starbright stuff, and
Yeah,
like, just everybody's like, yeah, we're into it. They weren't like alien positive, but it's like if it did happen, which it does, they're not like fucking get our guns.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Although
do you have any of that hot dish left? Except for Granny.
she's a little wary.
Granny, yeah, Granny loves guns.
But yeah, I mean, you've got that kind of desert rat sort of, you know, Area 51 kind of feel anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't be surprised if some folks in those trailers were listening to some of that early Art Bell kind of stuff. You know, back when conspiracies were fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fun, like, you know what? There's those lights in the sky could be a friend.
Hi.
Now, did you know that Will Wheaton was in that movie?
I was told that, and I tried to spot him, and I did not see him.
I think he was wearing the red, like, jersey, like you see him running through the town in the first shot, like establishing the trailer park.
Okay.
Trailer court.
Trailer court.
Trailer court.
That's true.
But he did have lines, but they got cut out. They cut him out. But it's like he was a friend of Lewis. How old was Lewis?
9?
9? What the shit?
He had an extensive collection of Playboys.
I said back to sleep, Lewis, or I'm telling Mom about your Playboys.
Now, in the 80s, like the only Playboys that I knew of were in my father's armoire, the big dresser.
Yeah.
And like once you search through something, you're like, oh, what's this? And then it's the boobies. Or you find it in the woods.
Yep.
And
there was definitely porn in the woods in my hometown.
Porn in the woods.
Yeah.
Porn in the woods. I think, is it a southeast Wisconsin thing?
Oh no, this was in Iowa.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and this
porn in
is
the woods.
apparently everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a common. If you grew up in the 80s, you found porn in the woods.
Yes.
That's just the way it was.
You see a weird tree house somewhere. There's probably a dirty nudie mag in that tree.
Yep. There's like someone's got just a cabinet propped up against a tree. There's some Playboy in there.
But like when he pulls out, he's like, everybody's like, I'm gonna tell Mom about your Playboys. He's like, shut up. I don't want anybody to know about my Playboys. And then he pulls like this issue after issue after issue. And then he's like, Yolanda.
Yolanda, baby.
I had to look it up. I'm like, because it's like
You wanted
9
to
years
check
old.
out?
9 years old. It's like, was I into Playboy at that time? Possibly not. Possibly not. But I'm like, I had to find out when Yolanda showed up. And it's, oh my God, I didn't write it down.
Oh no.
Crap.
Good little detail there.
Yeah. It's, I was like,
One job.
one job to look at.
It was
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Yolanda, baby.
So, this movie was directed by Nick Castle, aka The Shape, from the original Halloween, and writer of Escape from New York, things like that.
Yes.
And has some other connections with John Carpenter movies.
Star Navigator First Class Greg, at your service, sir.
Now, O'Hurley, was he... Oh,
Greg.
He was Greg, but he was also in, wasn't he the Behave Yourselves in RoboCop 2? And RoboCop 1?
He was in RoboCop 1 and 2, and he was in Halloween 3.
Happy Halloween.
But Greg is, he's very affable. He's got that laugh.
Is it a laugh, or is he just trying to just get something loose?
But so this was written by Jonathan Batuel, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Yes.
I'm going with it. He doesn't have a lot of writing credits. He wrote, before this, he wrote My Science Project, which...
Also, I enjoyed that.
Good, okay,
I don't remember, specifically what I enjoyed about it, but it was like My Science Project. There were a couple of those, like weird science, but not...
Right. I feel like maybe like Explorers kind of fits in there,
Explorers,
too.
definitely.
That sort of thing.
Yep.
He also wrote a movie that we're familiar with around here called Theodore Rex.
Ella, undercover, por favor, please.
I saw that. I didn't see it, but no, I saw that he wrote it. And I'm like, oh.
Produced it, too.
And produced it.
Mm-hmm. Real responsible for that movie.
Just tiptoe. And what does that smell? Is that you? It's not me. How can it be me? Did you? Look, I didn't butt trumpet. One of these things is leaking. Fine.
You know, if you are so I want this movie out, and I've heard that people have wanted to let's have a prequel or a reboot of The Last Starfighter or whatever. And he's like, no, it's mine. It's like Theodore Rex, dude.
Yeah.
Loosen that grip. Just.
Although I'm also of the mind that it doesn't really need to be extended, the story.
No.
It sits nicely as it is.
Yeah.
I did read a little bit about the idea of just they want to do a sequel where it's Alex and Mag's kid and coming back to Earth from space, and it's like,
that'd be boring as hell.
Yeah. It's good as it is. That's another thing that has kept it distinct from Star Wars is that all the world building and all the politics. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No.
Just we got to rebuild because all the Starfighters are dead, and you're the one who knows how to do this shit. So please stick around.
Yeah.
Cool. Done.
I liked how Zur used his scepter as just an emphasis. Objects as emphases is great in the villain part of the movie. Krill, whenever he's something's is gonna happen, he's like, "What do we do now?"
We die.
Hell of a line.
A hell of a line. That I think is the most memorable line to me, anyway.
Yep, that one really stuck
we
with me.
die.
Yeah.
And I bring that up all the time, even if I didn't watch the movie 15 years ago. I'd be like, "We die," and people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
The last Starfighter
is dead. Last Starfighter is dead.
But I also loved, I don't think I'll probably even notice until this time around, but the titular line, that gets the last Starfighter into the dialogue, is Zur having his hubris destroy him.
So, the last Starfighter is dead?
Yes.
I love that. He said, the last Starfighter is dead.
That's it.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah. Just
couldn't be anything else.
Yeah. Nope. It's dead. Here we go. Did Zur escape?
Yeah.
Man,
he gets in a little cardboard door. Man, the bits that don't work, most of it's CG, but they did not have money to finish that door.
Man.
He just kind of
maybe just blocked it out, or he probably ducked out.
Yeah.
And something I was looking at everything else.
It was for me. It was a very Joel goes to the theater for Mystery Science Theater. He goes down the chute. But yeah, no, he escapes. So that was another thing that they could have done the sequel. Could have done it right after, but they didn't. And now everybody's
Wrath of Zur.
Yeah, it was not a huge success at the time, I guess. or it was maybe just kind of a slow builder. Like there was all sorts of tie-in stuff. Atari was supposed to do an actual standee game, and they never did.
All right.
Because they looked at the early returns and they're just like, we're busy going out of business or something, so don't worry about it.
We're burying ET games.
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo's about to kick our ass off the planet, so we're not going to do this. But it made, I think it made back about twice what it cost.
Yes.
So it was successful.
Yes.
And it has.
And those are $80s dollars. So I mean, a lot more viewers.
You got to adjust for that. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's out there. I think you have to get I don't know if you can watch it. I don't know if you can rent it somewhere.
I have it. Amazon has it.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah,
good.
$4.99.
Hey, that's a deal. To buy, $3.99
to rent, $4.99 to buy.
Oh, come on.
Might as well fucking buy it.
Spend that dollar.
Oh my gosh.
Watch it over and over again until.
And I will.
Yeah.
It is now going to be like a yearly thing.
Even being able to view it through that nostalgic lens, it's a good story, performed well, and the CG doesn't get in the way.
No.
It enhances.
Yes.
And
it reminded me of like a Star Fox or like the first Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, and it manages to, even like when you're getting to that final battle, it explains away some of the things that would be like easy plot holes. It's just like, oh, this one's got more shielding, so it can take more hits.
Oh yeah.
You know.
You don't need to be good. You know what? It is a game that I probably could have been good at. You put me in that Gunstar, it's like, oh, and then we have a weapon that we don't know if it's going to work. So it's up to you if you want to push that button.
Oh, we better.
Yeah, push the button.
So it's something you can certainly watch today, I think, and maybe it's time to get the next generation into the last Starfighter, so they're ready to go out and fight while we all sit in our trailer parks.
Anybody can come to my house and watch it. I'll let them.
There you go. You bought it.
I bought it. I can take it anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Until Amazon removes it.
Yeah.
Until Amazon. But then, do they pay me back?
No.